All right, there are more layoffs this week as the ripple effect of the UAW strike continues. We're heading into week 4, and we're at that pivotal midweek point where we're looking for any signs from the UAW and also from the auto companies about what the latest deals have been in negotiations at Solidarity House. So let's bring in Rod Maloney, who has been following the contract talks this whole way and also all the developments in the strike. Rod, it's good to see you, and why don't you go ahead and get us updated on what you're hearing?
Well, as it stands right now, the talks are ongoing, and we've discussed before that they have their talks at Ford World headquarters, the tower up in Auburn Hills for Stellantis at the North American headquarters, and then at the Warren Tech Center for General Motors. And from what I'm hearing in terms of the talks, they do main table talks about once or twice a week with each company, and sometimes those can happen down at the Solidarity House offices in Detroit. So they're talking. They continue to talk. The lower level talks have been ongoing in earnest. The main table have been less so, but they do talk back and forth. A lot of things are on the table. They're trying to work things out. We're still waiting to get specifics on the joint venture battery plant development that happened with General Motors on Friday. The analysts that I've been talking to have been saying that they fear that that may be prolonging the strike, because it is an intricate deal just at General Motors, which was okay with unionizing its joint ventures. But Ford has plants down south in Tennessee, Kentucky, where their battery plants are going to be. That's going to be more difficult to get those plants under the national contract. And Stellantis just opened up a plant today. They announced one for Kokomo, Indiana, and that's good. They could probably get that unionized. But a lot of things to talk about there in terms of how they make all of this happen. In the meantime, as the strike takes its toll, now we're not, day 27 now, we're starting to see more layoffs. Now, the last layoffs we heard about were on Monday, and I've not gotten any announcement, I haven't had any announcements today about more ripple effect. But we're looking at about 5,000 to 6,000 workers who've been laid off as a result of the strike. And so we're looking to see that. And as I understand it, the suppliers, they've been hit fairly hard, but that was more early on than it is more recent. I think one of the suppliers in Michigan put in a warn notice basically saying that they're going to be laying off their workforce for the lack of business, at least as part of the strike. But the ripple effect is still ongoing. We were out with the picketers this morning up in Auburn Hills in the rain, and they're sort of getting a little impatient. They don't want to go on camera and talk about it, but they were saying that they're getting a little impatient. They want to see more action happening here. So it's going to be interesting as we head into Friday as to whether this thing gets escalated or whether they can make any more progress.
And that was what I was going to ask you about, Rod, because this entire negotiations has been about public communication on both sides. You've seen the companies coming out saying, whoa, this is what we've offered. And Shawn Fain has been very methodical in terms of his Friday press conferences or his Friday Facebook Live communication, which then would either announce the strike target, or last week was, we're going to hold off. We're not going to be adding any more, any more workers to the line. We usually hear that there is going to be some kind of Facebook Live event either on that Wednesday or Thursday before the Friday. Are you hearing anything?
At this point, no. That doesn't mean it couldn't change in an hour or two or even tomorrow. And maybe they still feel like they're making progress. We're not sure. Things have kind of gone quiet. I will say this. That the union hasn't been saying much this week, and the companies haven't been saying much either. It sounds like they're working hard. They're trying to get something done. And out here on the line, I mean, it's getting chilly out here, and the workers are, they're starting to feel it out here. And so they know that this is where the rubber meets the road. They will tell you that this is where the rubber meets the road. And so they're hoping for something sooner rather than later.
All right, I know you're going to be staying on it, and sometimes quiet means that there's talking going on behind closed doors. So we'll continue to keep it updated, of course, on clickondetroit.com, and stay close to you. Appreciate it, Rod.
Thanks, Christy.